Zara Olokun lived life on her own terms. To her, food was more than nourishment. It was an adventure. A native of Azuru City, Zara had grown up in a household where meals were bought, not made. Her father, a long-haul truck driver, was often away for months, while her mother, a businesswoman, spent her days running a successful textile shop in the bustling city market. With little time to spare, her parents handed Zara and her younger brothers, Dami and Corey, pocket money each morning to buy meals from nearby food vendors. As the eldest, Zara became a second parent to her siblings. But cooking was never part of her responsibilities. Instead, she found comfort in the vibrant flavors of street food and the variety offered by countless restaurants around the city. By the time she graduated and moved to Kumo, a quiet town where she was posted for her National Youth Service, eating out had become a way of life. Her roommate, Amara, couldn't understand Zara's obsession. Amara was a thrifty, practical woman who believed in home-cooked meals. "Zara, don't you think it's risky to eat out all the time? You don't know how clean these places are." Zara waved her off with a laugh. "Amara, I've been eating out my whole life. And look at me, healthy as ever. Besides, cooking is boring. Why waste time when I can just buy good food?" Amara shook her head. "One day, Zara, you will see what I mean." But Zara was convinced she had it all figured out. She loved her routine of discovering new food spots and relished the freedom of never having to step into the kitchen. Little did she know, her world was about to be turned upside down. Life in Kumo was peaceful, but Zara's days took an exciting turn when she met Tade, a strikingly handsome entrepreneur who had recently moved to town to oversee his tech company's expansion. Their first meeting was serendipitous. Zara had been fumbling with her bag at a local cafe when Tade stepped in to help her. "Let me get that for you," he said, flashing a warm smile. Zara, caught off guard by his charm, found herself smiling back. From that day on, Tade made it his mission to win Zara's heart. He took her to the finest restaurants, introduced her to exotic dishes, and listened intently as she shared stories about her childhood. Zara was smitten. Tade seemed perfect, thoughtful, ambitious, and full of surprises. One weekend, Tade decided to visit Zara's apartment unannounced. Zara, flustered but excited, welcomed him warmly. They spent the afternoon talking and laughing. But as the evening wore on, Tade's stomach began to grumble. "Zara, I am starving. Let's cook something together," he suggested, his eyes lightening up at the thought of a shared activity. Zara's heart sank. "Cook? What, Tade? There is no need for that. Let's just order something. It's faster." Tade raised an eyebrow. "Come on, Zara. Cooking together will be fun. I will even help." Cornered, Zara hesitated before blurting out, I don't know how to cook." The room fell silent. Tade looked at her, visibly surprised. "You are joking, right?" Zara avoided his gaze. "No, I am serious. I've never needed to." Tade's expression shifted to disappointment. "Zara, you are an amazing woman, but how can you not know how to cook?" He left shortly after leaving Zara feeling humiliated and ashamed. Determined to distract herself from her embarrassment, Zara threw herself back into her favorite pastime, food exploration. That week, she discovered a newly opened restaurant, Golden Spoon Bistro. The sleek, modern building stood out among the humble eateries in town, and its glowing reviews promised exceptional meals at affordable prices. Zara stepped inside and was immediately impressed. The interior was luxurious, with elegant furniture, soft lighting, and an air of sophistication. She ordered a plate of spicy jollof rice and grilled chicken, and when the dish arrived, she was blown away by the rich flavors. This might be the best restaurant in town, she thought, savoring every bite. It didn't take long for Zara to become a regular. The staff began to recognize her, greeting her by name and anticipating her usual orders. Zara felt at home in the Golden Spoon Bistro, convinced she had found her newly culinary heaven. But the illusion of perfection was fragile, and it was only a matter of time before it shattered. One sunny afternoon, Zara placed an order for delivery from Golden Spoon Bistro. Exhausted from a long day at work, she eagerly unwrapped her meal and began eating. Halfway through, she paused. Something dark and unusual was nestled in her eyes. She leaned closer and froze. It was a dead cockroach. Zara's stomach churned as she pushed the plate away. The sight made her nauseous, but she convinced herself it was a one-off mistake. It's a new place. These things happen, she reasoned, though doubts lingered in her mind. A week later, Zara fell gravely ill. Admitted to the hospital, she was diagnosed with a bacterial infection. This could only have come from contaminated food, the doctor warned. Be careful where you eat. Zara nodded weakly, but wasn't ready to change her habits. Golden Spoon had become her comfort zone, and she wasn't prepared to let go. Weeks passed, and Zara's stubbornness prevailed. She returned to Golden Spoon Bistro, determined to prove that it was still the perfect restaurant she believed it to be. But just 2 weeks later, she fell ill again. This time, the sickness was worse, leaving her bedridden and unable to walk. Amara was furious. Zara, how many warnings do you need? You are playing with your health. Why won't you listen? For the first time, Zara felt a twinge of regret. That weekend, she decided to investigate. She visited Golden Spoon Bistro, pretending to need the restroom. When the main restroom was occupied, she wandered down a hallway and noticed a swinging door labeled staff only. Her curiosity got the better of her. She hesitated, then pushed the door open. What Zara saw made her heart sink. The kitchen was filthy. Piles of dirty dishes towered in the corners. Raw meat lay uncovered and swarmed with flies, and the floor was coated in grease and green. Rats scurried across the room, darting between crates of vegetables. The staff looked just as unkempt. One cook had greasy hair sticking out of a stained cap, while another wore an apron so filthy it was impossible to tell its original color. Zara's stomach turned when she saw the head chef, a large woman with a disheveled appearance, scratch her armpits with a spoon and then stir a pot of soup with it. Zara felt her knees weaken as the reality sank in. This was the place she had trusted, the place she had praised to her friends. She slipped out of the kitchen, her mind racing. Back at home, Zara sat in silence, replaying the horrific scene in her mind. For the first time, she admitted to Amara, "You were right. I've been careless. I need to change." Amara hugged her friend tightly. "It's never too late, Zara. Let's start now." The next day, Zara cleaned her kitchen, bought fresh groceries, and began learning to cook. It wasn't easy. Her first few attempts were disastrous, but with Amara's guidance and outline tutorials, she improved. Slowly, cooking became a source of pride and joy for Zara. When Tade returned to apologize for his reaction, he was amazed by the transformation. Zara invited him to dinner, and they shared a meal she had prepared herself. She realized how far she had come. Their love rekindled, and months later, they tied the knots. Zara's journey serves as a powerful reminder that growth often begins with discomfort, that the cost of convenience can sometimes be far greater than expected. The moral behind the story is that it's not advisable to always eat out. Sometimes learn to prepare your own meal. It's more healthy and better that way. Hello fam, please do well to click on the follow button for more interesting stories as this.